Thanks for watching this video. So in this video, I'm going to cover something that I'm pretty passionate about, which is service delivery for medical spas. So if you're the owner of a marketing agency where you help medical spas and you're wondering how can you get them the best result possible, watch this video. You can also watch this video even if you don't work with med spa. If you work with any clinic in the medical space, such as chiropractors or dentists, or any client that require like a paid deposit to book people at their clinic, watch this video because the process is going to be very similar. So any business in the medical space, that's very similar. But if you're in med spa, I think this is going to be very valuable. So the reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to start kind of like documenting my journey. I'm building my agency, and I've been doing that for like 6 years. As I say, I've been working with at this point over 140 clients, and it took me so much time to figure service delivery. And I don't think like there's ever like you're ever done with it. Like, I'm still improving my service delivery by the day. There's so many things I'm implementing right now, but I think we're in a point right now where we're doing okay as far as like service delivery, at least much better, I think, than a lot of people. And I know for a fact that a lot of people are gonna enjoy that video. If you're like in med spa, like, this is gonna be really good. So yeah, like, basically how to get good results for clients is just the name of the game. First of all, like, the cost of advertising is getting higher and higher, a lot of competition. So if you don't have an LTV and clients stay with you for a long time, you're not going to be able to spend a lot on acquisition, and therefore you're not going to be able to grow. So for you to for you to improve your retention, you just need to give client better results. Clients, you need to give them a better experience too, as far as the experience they have working with you. But in the end, the only metric that's gonna like sell them on like working with you for longer is just results. How much profit can you bring them on a monthly basis, which directly correlate to the amount of appointments and customers you can get them. So how do you do that? Let's break it down into a few different categories. Let's start from scratch. I would even say, before I talk even about the ads, I think I should talk about offers. So there's, in a medical space, there's so many treatments you can go after. You can advertise. You can go with a skin rejuvenation treatment, hair restoration treatment, body sculpting treatments. Now there's a bunch of other stuff you could get into, but these would be the main ones. Laser hair removal too, that kind of stuff. So what treatment do you even target in the first place? That can be confusing. Do you target them all, like clinics with like all sorts of treatments? Do you go like specific and narrow? I would say just go after the treatments that give your client a good return on investment. Don't go after things like Botox, or like things like Botox is like, it's great, it's fine, it's in demand, so you're gonna get them client through the door, but you're gonna struggle with giving them a positive ROI, just simply because Botox, it's a low ticket treatment. It's certainly like a recurring one where people on average, I think they come back 3 to 4 times a year for Botox. But the clients usually that you have, they don't think as business owners. They don't think like you and I in terms of lifetime value. Some of them do, and that's great. But a lot of them just if they pay $2,000 a month in ads, they want to see that money back ASAP. They don't want to wait 8 months to get that money back. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of those lower ticket treatments, such as Botox, such as facials. They sell like crazy, don't get me wrong. And for some clients, it can make sense. We have some clients where we're doing something it's called Japanese head spa. It's working. It's very trendy right now in the UK. And we got her last month 50 appointments, 50 new clients through the door with that treatment. But this is lower ticket. This is less than $100, and you're gonna rely on your client's ability to upsell and their ability to understand the lifetime value of a customer, which isn't the best strategy to grow your agency, I believe. So you're going to go after these bigger treatments. Usually they're going to be machine-based treatments. And I could give you a bunch of names, such as like treatments like, Morpheus 8, HIFU, any body sculpting treatments like 3D lipo, M-Sculpt, or you could go after, laser hair removal, CO2 laser. You could go after thread lifts, incredible. You could go after any procedure that's high ticket. That's either the price of one session is high, or like PRP, by example, or it requires at least 4 to 6 sessions. So that way the client can upsell a package. So as a general rule for us, we're looking at treatment that have a value of at least £500, which is about, I think, around $700. We're in the UK market right now. So if you're in the States, you're watching this, I would say at least 1,000, just because the market in the US is bigger and people spend more on aesthetic treatment than in the UK. So for us, it's a bit more tricky, but in the US, from what I hear around, like people spend sometimes like 1,500, 5,000 per treatment or per package. It's very common. In the UK, it's less common. So for us, it's a bit, I guess, tougher, but there's also less competition in the UK. So that kind of makes it up for it. So yeah, stay away from low value treatment. And also be careful. Be careful, because just because a treatment is expensive, it doesn't mean that it's profitable. And that's something that, it took me a while to realize. There are going to be treatments that they have a high cost of goods or cost of product. So whenever you kind of try to figure out what treatment is the best to advertise for your clients, always ask the price of the treatment, how many sessions do people have on average for that treatment, so you have a rough idea of like what's the average ticket value, how average amount of money they make per treatment. But also ask them, very important, what's the cost of goods, and because if they sell something for £1,000 or for $1,000 and it costs them, actually the product costs them 600, you'd think they make 1,000, but they actually make $400 out of it, not including the overhead, the rent, the bills, the time of the practitioner. I don't even take that in consideration. I just take the cost of goods. So you want to find the most profitable treatment to advertise, not the most expensive. That's a big thing. And you also want to advertise things that are in demand, ideally that are trendy. So I'm going to give you the best hack that you're not going to be able to apply all the time, but when you apply it, it's going to crush for your clients. Like any treatment that's like the second version of a treatment, and that's like new and trendy, oh my God, you're going to make your clients so much money if you do that. Maybe I can give you 2 examples of things like that we're doing. There's a famous treatment called Profhilo. It's like a skin booster, some sort of like an injectable. So you put on your skin, to rejuvenate your skin and so on. And that's a very famous treatment. And like a couple months ago, they came up with like a second version, like called something Profhilo Structura. And it's new, it's better. So if you have a client, if you're aware there's such treatment, first of all, tell your clients to buy it, like don't wait for them to get it. Just tell them, hey, please buy this, because we're going to sell that like crazy. And like over the phone is so much easier, because in the aesthetic or medical space, a lot of people you're going to have a lot of times people that are pricing around. They see an ad and they're shopping around. They see an ad and they're like, oh, there's this other clinic doing it for like a cheaper price. So it's hard to differentiate yourself from your competitors. However, if you tell them, oh, look, we're not doing the treatment everybody else does. We're doing the second version of it, the newer version that's better, a bit more expensive, but that will get you better results. You're going to stand out from everyone. It's going to be an easy sales, and your clients are going to make a lot of money. So that's one. Another one that's currently happening is called, I don't want to get the name wrong, but it's so it's the original treatment is called PRP. It's like a hair rejuvenation treatment to get more your hair back, basically, but without surgery. And now there's something called IPF, but I hope I don't get the name wrong. It's like the second version of it. It's better, it's newer, and this stuff sells, man. Like, because again, like it's a no-brainer. If you respond to an ad for a treatment that you're aware of, there's no more price objection. because now you're competing with no one else. It's a new thing. But the thing is, these kind of trends also go away. They come and go. A couple months back, it was something called polynucleotide, and then everybody started offering it, and now it doesn't have the same impact. So that's one thing. If your clients can do these kind of things, if you can research that, do it. Use ChatGPT to find what are the current trends and recommend it to your clients. But there's going to be treatments that are always going to be, that are kind of like popular and that high profitable. I'm not going to list them all in the video. That's not the goal of this video. I don't want to just give you a bunch of treatment names. You got to figure things out on your own as well. But like anything that's just highly profitable for clients and that is popular and in demand, just advertise it. So as far as advertising, like I guess like finding offers, go with these type of treatments. As far as how many treatments you should advertise, I would recommend at least 2. Okay, you advertise 2 treatments at a time, and don't advertise them in a separate ad set. Advertise them in the same ad set, so that way you let the Facebook algorithm realize where is the demand. Because if you do 2 different ad sets, which is the mistake we used to do, you might have one that performs, the other one doesn't perform. But if you do one ad set with 2 treatments, or even 3 treatments, sometimes we do, you just literally say to Facebook, okay, here are 3 treatments. Figure out which one people want in this market. The rule is give the market what the market wants. So if you do a bunch of different ad sets with a bunch of different treatments, some may work, some may not work. You're wasting a lot of money regardless. If you do one ad set and throw all your ads under one roof, people will Facebook will tell you what people want. And oftentimes, I'm saying that because we've made the mistake, and there's going to be clinic in their area, a treatment is not going to work, but the exact same treatment at the same price is going to work really well in another area. So it's a bit tricky sometimes. You don't know why. So just put one ad set, a bunch of different treatments, and let's Facebook do his magic. So that's another thing. Another thing I should throw in there is be very careful with the prices. I was coaching someone the other day, and his client was offering, I think, HIFU at like a very expensive price. And you got to be careful with these things, because if you do the follow-up, if you don't just do the advertising, for your clients, like us, we follow up, we call the leads for them, we take money over the phone. If the price is way outside the market prices, you're going to have a tough time. Even if the clinic has a great reputation, they have doctors and they have all these reviews, if your price is twice above market price, you could be the best salesperson in the world, you're going to struggle. So you got to be aware of that. For us, we don't take on clients if their prices are not within market prices. How do you figure out whether or not they're within market prices? For us, it's just data. We've been working with 140 med spa or more by this point, so we can clearly see pattern. Whenever we have a successful client, we put it in the spreadsheet, and we were like, okay, here's this client. They did X treatment at this price point, and it worked well. And we always put it like all of our successful clients. So that way, we have a good range. When we take on new clients, we tell them, look, can you do this treatment at this price? Yes or no? No, I don't think we're a good fit. Yes, great, we're going to crush it for you. Obviously, if you don't have this data, it's kind of hard. You're going to have to take a bit of leap of faith at first, or maybe do a bit of research. You can ask Grok or ChatGPT this kind of things. These days with the deep search feature, you can ask, what's the price of HIFU in this area, and it's going to kind of pull up a couple websites and give you some insights. So you can do that, or do your own research as well. Just go on a few clinics' website and see how much they advertise it for. Just get a couple of them, maybe 5 or 6 of them, and you get a good idea of basically what's the price for a treatment. So it's very important to find the correct fit in terms of treatment. The only times where you can kind of, I would say, forget about this rule is when the clinic's reputation is just really high. Because the reason why you want to have a price that is within the market price, because when you do the follow-up over the phone, your callers, they're going to have to explain why is the price higher than other clinics. And if there's nothing, if the clinic doesn't have doctors or a good reputation or anything like that, how are we going to explain that the price is higher? You need something, and if the clinic doesn't have like a great reputation or like years of experience or like 500 Google 5-star reviews, then there's no reason for people to go at this clinic rather than another that is cheaper. So if the clinic has great reputation, you obviously bump up the price, it's fine. But if the clinic doesn't have that, make sure you're in the price range, okay, in the market price. So once you have that, you just launch your ads. So that's basically the advertising side of things here. And I'm just basically speaking on top of my head. By the way, I didn't prepare for that video, so I'm sure there's a lot more that go into it, but like I think I'm just trying to give you the overall view right now, just to put you in the right direction. But obviously, perfection is in the details, so there might be stuff, what type of ads to run. I could get into that. What kind of ads work, doesn't work. I could get into that, but I just want to give you like an overall view of what you need to do. Now, once you've set up the ads, you get a correct price, the offer is right, and so on. Now it's time for you to follow up, And what we do at our agency is we do the follow-up. Because what we found is like when the client does the follow-up, they're usually bad at it. And for us, it's better. We get a much better retention when we do the follow-up. And the reason why is because we're much better at it than the client. The client usually don't have time for calling the leads, and that's not going to be good. That's not going to be profitable for them. They're not going to do it well, and your churn is going to be super high. So you don't have to go down this road. I'm sure there's plenty of successful marketing agency. They go down another road, and especially the agencies doing like stuff related with AI. There are successful agencies doing that. So I'm not saying you have to go down my road. It's actually even probably more complicated, but you just also provide more value to the client. So anyways, if you want to do the follow-up as we do, you have to basically call the lead, have a team that would call the leads of your clients, and then take money over the phone to book them in the diary of your clients. So there's so many things to get into that. That's actually the juicy part. That's like the golden, that's the key to make this business model work. It's the follow-up and the quality of the callers that you hire and so on. So I think I could probably rant for another 4 hours, but I'm going to try to give you just the overview of what you need to get done so you understand it, because otherwise that's going to be a 5-hour podcast. So in terms of the follow-up, let's start with the beginning. Let's say you just have a new agency. Let me grab some tea first. All right. Let's say I'm going to assume that you're kind of starting. The first of all is the hiring. You got to hire the right people, and then you have to obviously have the right system in place. But I would say the hiring is the most important part, finding the right people in the first place. The system comes after that, but you got to find the right people, man. Like the appointment setters, it's just tough. There's no easy way to do that. Don't even think of having AI do this. I know it's tempting, if you watch YouTube too much. It's not going to work. AI is not going to collect a deposit properly, and if it does, it's not going to build rapport with the client so that they actually show up at the clinic. So get out of your head. For now, I'm not saying in a couple months or years AI won't be able to do that. I'm pretty sure it will be at some point, but now you're going to have to hire. The old-fashioned way to hire is to hire, where I would say LinkedIn. We do LinkedIn. I know a bunch of agency owners doing LinkedIn ads, or you can do free posts as well on LinkedIn, or Facebook ads. I know a very successful agency owner doing that. So Facebook ads works too, but LinkedIn is just my favorite. I've tried both. LinkedIn for me, it's great. Where to hire them? So you can hire offshore or like in a country like the States, the UK, wherever you are. We've tried both approach. We've tried hiring because our clients mostly right now are in the UK. We've tried hiring callers in the UK versus hiring them in less expensive countries like South Africa, Egypt, and that kind of country. Don't hire. I think you want to say inshore. offshore, inshore, but don't hire in expensive countries. Honestly, it's a tough one because I know a very successful agency who hire just in the States, and they're making so much money. So I shouldn't tell you don't do that, because there's benefits to it. But honestly, like, from my personal experience, like, it's not worth it. You know, for different factors. I don't know if it's worth me to mention them right now, but like, if you're going to be like in European time zone, I'll recommend South Africa and Egypt. If you're going to be in American time zone, I would recommend. I've never hired there. I'm starting to hire there, so I can't give you personal recommendation, but I can tell you what I hear around Mexico, Colombia, Belize, I heard, and what's the other one? Argentina. But yeah, that's what I hear. I would probably go down Mexico. Is a good one, because you want to I was speaking to someone who was like, I'm looking for deported Americans, basically. So yeah, you're going to be able to pay these people like 3 or 4 times less money you would pay them in the States or in the UK or wherever expensive country your clients are in, and you can find really good people. It's just usually you require a bit more filtering. It's like the less you pay someone, the more filtering you're going to have to do in the hiring. So it's easier to find someone good in certain countries that are expensive, but so it saves you time in the hiring, but it costs you money in the long term. It's good to have also, like, you know, people like in your own country, you can meet them, organize events and stuff. But if you just want to squeeze cash, as much cash as possible, and be profitable, offshore is going to be the way to go, and you can find really good talents there. I personally don't think it's worth it to hire in expensive countries. So that's for that. Commission-wise, you want to do base salary and half base salary and half commission. Right? Half base salary, half commission. Like something like, give them like a base salary of $300, and then commission-wise, like a commission per appointment booked. You know, like, I'm just going to give you an example. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to reveal how much I pay my setters because, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, basically like a couple hundreds. I would say usually make sure that they make anywhere between 700 to 1,500 in total. You could make it so they make less than that, but again, then it comes down to the filtering. It's going to take a lot of applicants to find good ones. The higher you pay them, the better the talents you're going to attract. So I would say, to give you a very wide range, 700 to 1,500 a month, like base salary plus commission included. And if you're going to hire in like UK or United States or any other expensive country, that you can probably triple, quadruple that. So it's up to you to kind of figure out where you want to hire. And then the training wise, you want to basically do something like a 2-day boot camp. Once you have, I guess so much I could talk about right now regarding the hiring, but I'm not going to get into this in this video. Regarding the training, what you want to do for the training is very simple. You want to do a 2-day boot camp. And I'm not going to tell you need to do that. I'm just telling you this is how we do it. And I know a lot of other people are doing that and it works. You don't need to overtrain them on 100 different things. Like we used to make the training like a 7 days. They get bored. Everybody gets bored. People quit. It's not good. You got to squeeze the training in the shortest amount of time as you possibly can. 1 day, they watch content. They consume content. They understand the software you use and everything. 2nd day, they do role play and questions. They really practice. 3rd day, they start calling, you know. And you don't need to give them a bunch of leads at first. You don't want them to burn leads, and you don't also want to start giving them leads if you think they suck in the role play. You only want to give them leads when you actually can tell they do well. But I'm just giving you the structure, like 2 days enough for them to train them, and then just give them a couple leads and bump up the workload gradually as you trust them more and more and as you see results. So that's what you want to do. So I'll cover the hiring, the training. Now the coaching is a very important part. If you have a sales manager that can do the coaching, great. If you don't, you're going to have to do the coaching yourself, review their calls absolutely daily, have a daily team meeting. Basically, you want to focus on two things: holding them accountable to the weekly targets and also coaching them on their sales IQ. They need to have great sales skills. Even for people that are good, if you don't coach them and give them feedback consistently, the performance is going to start to decrease. So it's a mix between accountability, coaching, and, incentivize them to do better. And like keeping the spirit, the energy of the team, high, because this is sales. You need to have the great spirit, you need hungry people, and the hunger, it's something you cultivate. You don't just have it. You can have people that are self-hungry, and that's great, but a lot of the time people need to be pushed to be more hungry. There's different ways you can do that. You can do that through bonuses and money, or you could do that through I'm looking for the right word, through praising someone. Just some people are going to be motivated by money. Some people are going to be motivated by just doing a good job and making the manager or the boss proud. So ideally you want a mix of both, but praising people, encouraging people, telling them they're doing a good job. These are things that really help, and just have a specific target for everyone, weekly target to meet, and even daily target. That's very crucial to keep the spirit of your sales team. As far as, how to go about it, a question that would come up very often is, should I use my clients' calendars to book people in, or should I use an external calendar? Is there a way to connect my client's calendar to Go High Level, and that kind of stuff? Forget about using your client's calendar. It's a mistake we've done. That doesn't scale. So if you got like maybe 10 to 20 clients, I guess you can get away with it, but there's going to be a bunch of mistakes done, because every booking system is different. So your team is not going to be very good at it. And if you have, let's say, a few clients, like, I don't know, 5 clients, yes, you can do it. The only problem is, at scale, it doesn't work. It will break eventually, because once you have so many clients, and you rotate setters all the time, they're going to have to be familiar with the booking systems of new clients, and it doesn't work. So keep it simple, Go High Level. Use Go High Level calendar. Tell your clients to update the availability on Go High Level. I know it's not ideal for them, but honestly, it's just a habit to take. It's not perfect. They will make mistakes sometimes because they will forget to block a time, but it's much better than the alternative. It scales, and there are ways to make it more effective as you scale. You could have like a virtual assistant that double checks the availabilities are correct, on Go High Level and the client's calendar and so on. So there's ways to make this work really well. But yeah, like I would say that the main lever, if I had to sum this up, without this video being too long, I think I'm already, almost at 30 minutes. So, I would say it's all comes down to lead generation, but that's not the thing that is the most important. Although it's important, it's not the most important. The most important part is the follow-up and the quality of your callers, the people you hire. If you're familiar with the 80-20 principle, there's like 80% of the action that will give you 20% of the action that you take that will give you 80% of the results. So if you're talking in terms of 80-20% principle, like the people you hire, to give you an example, for every 5 to 6 calls we hire, we probably only keep 1. I would need to double check these numbers. They might have changed, but there's been a time where that was the case. Maybe now we're a bit more experienced, so our hiring process is better and we're able to hire less and get more talents. But it's been a time where this was the case, and just kind of hire a lot, fire fast, and see who fits. And I have a good hiring process. There's a bunch of things you can go over in the interview to filter out the time wasters, or like things you can do in the training to see if someone is worth your time or not. By example, we give them the first week, we just pay them commission only. just to see whether or not they're good. So they get paid higher commissions but no base salary, so we don't spend money on someone that isn't going to be good anyway. And then from the second week after that, there's like a 2 weeks probation period where we give them a base salary, but they're not still officially part of the team, you know. And after that, they're officially part of the team, and we need to give them like a 2 weeks notice if we want to let them go, and same for them. So yeah, 80-20% principle would be just to find the A player, the hungry people. There's going to be setters that are going to give you incredible results. Some are going to give you average results, and some are going to give you bad results, and some are going to give you absolutely phenomenal results. And basically, you just want to figure out, identify. Obviously, that your coaching is going to be a thing, but I would say hire based off not the skills, because the skill can be taught. If someone has great communication skills, it can really be taught. It's not a difficult job. It's not something like high ticket sales that has a lot of subtleties in it. It's something that really any person with common sense can learn. So hire more on personality. Now a lot of interviews with appointment setters are based off like, what's the personality? You know, what are your role models? What's the other question we ask? Now we ask the role model question, and yeah, there's another one, but I can remember. So like personality is more important. Attitude, and that's really the things you're looking for. And then you need to have a good system, a follow-up system. You know, also to understand when results don't go well for a client. Where's the problem? Is it the connect? Is it we're not speaking to enough people? Is it the lead flow that is broken? Is it the quality of the calls that's bad? And if the quality of the call is bad, why is it bad? Where are we losing people? Is it that the price is too expensive? People are not coming. The area is bad. So you need to have a system that, again, that would take me another 4 hours if I was to get into it right now. But you need to have a system that you can really use to diagnose what's going on when things are not going well, basically. But again, I'm just trying to give you like an overview of what's going to get you good results, and it all comes down to, you know, these 3 things, you know: lead generation, appointment setting, and the last thing, I don't know what I meant by the 3 things. I think it's probably 2 things that I meant. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was everything was done on top of my head. I didn't have any notes. So based off like what I just said, what I would like to do is to just let me know what you want me to cover for the next video. Like leave a comment, just let me know what are you struggling with, and I can make a video specifically about a certain topic. Okay, so that way we get much more in depth, but like about a specific topic, whether it's ads, you know, appointment setting, or anything else, offers. Yeah, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this whole video. If you want to work with me one-on-one, there's going to be also a link in the description of this video. You can check it out. And yeah, appreciate your time. Cheers.